I already thought of a name that I will give him, but I will not spoil it. I'll leave it for last.
If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems
We're
like the
just
kind of
walking
thing she'd
behind
know
them.
about.
Oh, if only we knew where to find that traveler. Well, looking for me?
Oh, this Kabukimono lived in Tatara Suna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens?
Even back then, Tatara Suna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Could it be?
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in the story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma? Basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabukimono was not a human, but a puppet.
Shockers. The Shogun puppet that Electro Arcan made should be ruling Inazuma with her as we speak. It couldn't be her. Really? You don't know who that is? Really? The kabuki kimono has to be the Balladeer. But what was he doing 400 years ago in Tatara Suna? Okay, let's go, please. I want to see Nahida and Skara. That's all I'm here for. Huh? Why is he out? What's wrong?
Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like
That's interesting.
a Balladeer.
I see the silhouette of a man. It was in the
Traveler,
corner.
come on, there you are. Nahida, bad news. We just saw the Balladeer strolling around in public.
He's literally on the left, Paimon.
Did he escape or... Ah, it's him!
See, I told you.
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey, what are you doing in the sanctuary of Surastana? Aren't you supposed to be laughed at? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the Balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me.
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about.
I like his approach to this situation. You see, that's the point. Is like, I don't understand why Lumine is treated as the hero. We're like, she killed so many people. She damaged so much stuff. And somehow she's seen as the hero.
But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
See, that's what I'm saying. Is like, he's just calling Lumine out on her bullshit. Oh, you think you're better than me. But you would kill me if it wasn't for Nahida. That's great.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down?
Of course.
But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
You know what? I'm on his side in this conflict.
As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond. Farmer? You mean he's not a harbinger anymore?
Are you surprised by that?
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Well, that's so sad. So he tossed you out like trash? Oh my god, now that I think about it, it's like again the same situation happening. The doctor throwing him as a trash because he's not good enough to be the god. And A doing the same thing to him. I just feel so sorry for him, honestly.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the Harbingers.
I wouldn't say like that's how human relationships work. Like I don't use other people, you know? I cooperate with them, yeah, but like I wouldn't say I use them.
So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be.
Really? With a crying shame. Why are you so passive-aggressive? Stop it.
Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
I really like that idea, Nahida.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit.
For me?
Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly. Everything is dictated by which side you're on.
That's the truest statement I've heard all day.
How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. It is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it.
Thank you, Nahida.
It's my pleasure, really. I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside.
Got it. I'm glad to be able to help.
Great. Thank you.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Nahida sent me to babysit you. Yes, because he's our little baby. Look at him.
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Yay, I agree.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry.
Understood.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna be traveling together after all.
Alright, because I'm the traveler and you're the wanderer. Or actually, soon to be wanderer.
Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
Learning with me, he says my eyes are pretty. Thank you.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going. Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Just focus on doing your job.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
So this is the inside of Irminsul.
It's different than what I imagined.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Tevat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go. Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
I really love how he cooperates with Kusanali already.
Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
I mean, I don't mind that.
We're here.
What a huge tree!
This is the center of Irminsul. All the information in the world is flowing through it.
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
Or maybe they just simply get along. He hasn't put up any resistance and he seems good at working on the front line. Maybe he had a similar role in the Fatui?
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk?
Wait, so he's just gonna be working like this and we're just gonna stand behind him, talk to Nahida? Okay, sure. Nahida? Is this a telepathic conversation?
Yes. I've also invited Paimon to join.
What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
Oh no, Paimon, don't get excited about it. My mind is kind of dirty, especially when I look ahead of myself. I'm guessing that you don't want us to disturb the Balladeer.
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
Oh, I agree.
Paimon's never tried this before. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
Yes, and he seems to excel at doing odd jobs for others.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers.
Is it about his past? The betrayals? And the other events in Inazuma?
Well done.
Actually, I caught a glimpse of a few things when I ran into Hypatia at Party ZI.
So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today. Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Yeah, exactly.
Tatara Suna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
You know that that's what I was thinking this whole time, is that maybe he can't hear us, but I feel like he can feel that we're talking about him behind his back.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. We have every right to keep certain things confidential.
Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Every conversation with you is hard work, but your attitude is better than I thought.
Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. Huh? Wait.
Oh.
Anonymous data. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
It's...
He recognized. Oh no. That name. Niwa was the man in charge of Tatara Suna. Plus. Plus he. Maybe I should read it with like Polish accent. Plus he belongs to the lineage of Ishin art.
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us.
You flatter me.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected, because I didn't want to speculate, and I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope.
Wait, because from what I understand that this person is Kara, right? So he went to audience with the Shogun?
But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm sorry.
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat?
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatara Suna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here.
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Oh.
A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatara Suna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
The doctor? Whoa. I did not expect that. Whoa.
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet, you're a human. You're just missing a heart. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
Wait, so he, came for Scaramouche? Is that what he's after? I don't know. I don't understand.
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
Minor?
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology?
My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet.
Wait. Hold on a second. What?
Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us.
Oh god, that's so sad.
He has nothing
To prove to anyone. Oh my god.
Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
See, that's exactly what I was saying. Not everyone just wants to use other people.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty.
A little guilty. Oh my god.
Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself.
Why are you keep talking to him? He's dead already.
Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity.
He's a psychopath.
Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
So basically, the Balladeer, even though he went through all of these, betrayals, as he called them, he wouldn't turn to be bad if the Fatui didn't find him, basically. They turned him like that. He had a pure heart, heart in quotations, but they made him fill his heart with hatred.
Dottore. Dottore!
I freaking love the delivery of that line. I just have to point it out.
Good. Good.
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so. But it means nothing.
I'm sure it means a lot. He's just a little bit shaken up by this.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
It's just hard to accept that something you thought for so many years as true was actually wrong. This betrayal was a lie that he has believed for hundreds of years. Was this part of the doctor's experiment? If the betrayal never happened, it existed only in his imagination. But where does this leave him?
Let's give him some space.
Oh, I
He
think
looks
that's a good
really
idea.
mad.
They need to give him some time to process his emotions. Katsuragi took the Kabukimono to live with the people of Tatara Suna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as the mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. The Balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the Balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process.
Oh god.
The load was far beyond what he expected, but the Balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants.
Oh, so that... Oh my god, that's so messed up that he lied to him like that. Jesus.
The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The Balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it has protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the Balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatara Suna without looking back.
I honestly think that his betrayal, not that I know the whole story, is even worse. Oh god, I was like, oh, he was just like scarred a little bit. No, he was demolished. Being betrayed and abandoned by a close friend is sure to cause great resentment. Now we know what was behind his decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokaden 100 years ago. But it doesn't mean that vengeance was the right decision.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Tatara, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
A while later.
Hey, you alright?
What's that smug face?
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend.
You are my friend. I've told you this previously. We just want to make sure this doesn't affect the plan.
It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Tevat.
Not unexpected, but still. Thank you.
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you. The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world. Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
Yeah, I'm confused about that part too.
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your brother for a time.
Why?
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Look, like he's looking up to Nahida. He's like asking, like, oh, am I doing a good job? Like, is that enough? Like, oh, that's so cute.
Very valuable.
Look at him, he's smiling. Okay. You know what? I am such a fan of all the fan arts that I've seen of Nahida and Skara being like the chosen family, and Nahida being basically like a real mom to him. Like, oh. And now just this interlude quest is kind of confirming it, that it is kind of like that. Oh, I love it.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Oh,
What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long.
Wait, maybe he wants to have like a private conversation without Kusanali. And that's why he created this barrier?
I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Give me your hand.
Oh. Well, I know I'm a little too thirsty in this one, but like, you have to just forgive me. I've been feeding off of crumbs.
Can you hear my voice inside your head?
Oh, it's so faint. I don't know if it's really faint for you too, but it's really faint for me. Are you trying to brainwash me? Brainwash me? What?
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you.
Look at Paimon. She's not happy that she doesn't hear anything.
So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
Why does he look so sad? Not the past, but he can change the future. Specifically, your own future. Wait, why would you ask that?
Done. I was just thanking her for helping me.
Wait, that look. Did he see me hesitate? But that was because I know about Greater Lord Rukadavada. Oh.
So long.
What? I didn't read what it
you
said.
Get yourselves out of here quickly.
I didn't read what it said, and I did not click anything.
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again.
No, oh, we will. We will. Don't you worry about that one.
From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatara Suna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Is he... Wait, is he trying to sacrifice himself?
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow. Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
Did he achieve something beyond his abilities? And it took everything he had.
Where the heck did he go?
We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible. This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you.
Isn't there anything I can do?
I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
Paimon doesn't remember Greater Lord Rukadavata, and the Balladeer's question was a strange one. It's hard to explain in full, and the truth might be very distressing for Paimon. I'll skip the part about Greater Lord Rukadavata for now, and focus on the Balladeer.
He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible!
It's not easy, that's for sure.
Right! You can't just rewrite history! All that stuff happened already in real life!
Maybe he wants to erase himself from history.
Huh? Ah!
Paimon, are you okay?
Sorry. Paimon accidentally... erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable! Is that really possible in Irminsul?
Not necessarily, but maybe.
There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too?
Indeed, if the Balladeer does erase himself from Irminsul, many people in Inazuma will be affected. I can't imagine what that situation would look like. Worst case scenario, it will affect everyone with a connection to the Raigen Gokaden. Kazuha, Ayaka, Ayato. Will this mean that they'll disappear?
How about, we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things? Heck, if that doesn't work, Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here. Alright, Paimon will start. First dish.
I had to skip. Does Paimon sleep floating? Paimon, what's wrong?
What do we...
You were getting so worried about the situation with the Balladeer that you started listing foods.
The Balladeer?
No. No, do not tell me that we're yet again the only ones that remember him.
Is that a food too?
Ah, no!
Huh.
No!
Weird name,
No, no, no! Why? Paimon doesn't remember the Balladeer? That must mean he actually pulled it off? But how did he have that ability? This doesn't make sense.
What's wrong?
No, it's nothing.
So, the Balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something.
If this is really happening, I need to know what else changed. Paimon, come with me.
Okay.
Wow, we're actually gonna go back to Inazuma. That's... we haven't been there in a while.
Ah, it's been a while.
About the Raiden Gokaden, could you tell me that story one more time?
There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful tale. The Raiden Gokaden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatara Suna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokaden. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokaden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life.
It looks like the Balladeer did something in Irminsul, but it seems Niwa still died. Things don't seem as bad as I feared last night.
Well, here we are. But what something. Or someone.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the Traveler and Paimon?
Why does he sound like the doctor?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what about you two?
That's the same actor. You can't tell me otherwise.
Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that?
And don't you think it's like too big of a coincidence that, these two guys are both played by the same actor that plays the doctor, and they're both from Fontaine? Oh ho ho, I'm starting to believe that maybe Xavier is not who we think he is. Mechanic, huh? Looks like the doctor still sabotaged the furnace, leading to all the ensuing chaos. Leading to all the chaos.
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today.
Have you ever heard of a kabukimono connected to the Tatara Suna?
A kabukimono? No, I can't say that I have.
So there is no more kabukimono. Did the Balladeer really manage to erase himself from the history completely? If so, you know what? Actually, before we continue, considering that the Balladeer was like the first puppet, and then Raiden Shogun was created, doesn't that mean that like Raiden Shogun doesn't exist? Because if the Balladeer didn't happen, then basically like there was no reason to create a different puppet for A, and so I'm really confused. I feel like something's not adding up, but it's fine. If so, he must have wanted to change the world and revert everything back to the way it was. But so far, it looks like the majority of changes have only affected himself. Time to go back and see Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Sure, but...
That's where we should have had, like, first, in my opinion. And then if everything was alright with Nahida, then I would check up on A. Maybe I'm thinking too deeply about it, but like I'm really into like proper storytelling and character development and stuff like that, and I like going deeper into these kinds of things.
Nahida, we're here!
I was investigating the situation with the Balladeer. I don't think you're supposed to say that. Unless you assume that Nahida will know what you're talking about.
The Balladeer? It sounds like some kind of code name.
Oh no.
You look troubled.
Even Nahida doesn't remember. Just like last time, any changes to Irminsul affect her as well. The Balladeer acted quickly. He finished erasing himself before Nahida could stop him. I'm the only one who still remembers the things that were erased. Once again, I am the record keeper. There are things that have happened that only I can remember. I have to tell you the truth.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
But how was he even able to do that?
As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it.
So the machine did happen after all? How does that make sense? Like, who was operating it then?
Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality. The traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about her in Irminsul. And it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect her. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
I don't know his perspective on all of this, so I can't say why he did something so extreme. Did he want to reset everything? Or save someone? Or did he want to completely undo his existence? Everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all. Maybe that's all there is to it. I still remember the question he asked. He asked me specifically, and my hesitation gave him his answer. I hesitated because I witnessed Greater Lord Kudavada erase her own existence, but I can't tell Nahida that. To put another way, I know why the Balladeer was so sure it could work, but I can't tell them that.
Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share?
I just feel empty. He chose such a radical option, and yet...
It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right?
Yes.
Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatara Suna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. This story makes sense. Every part of it.
He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Yeah, he changed the world in many ways, and yet the dead still didn't get a second chance. Those fated to a tragic end could not be saved. What exactly did he want to fight back against? The betrayals in his life? Or did he wish he'd never existed at all?
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it. This should be the one.
What's this?
It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything she has told us.
She? You mean like me?
You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
This matches everything I said.
I authored this record myself.
You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the Balladeer?
Any information about the Balladeer or the Kabuki Mono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the Balladeer entered Irminsul. And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew she'd remember everything.
Wow. I mean, Nahida is the god of wisdom after all, so it makes sense that she would think like 5 steps ahead of everyone.
This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us.
Oh.
Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different. I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet.
Oh, the more we learn about his history, the worse it gets, you know? The more you realize how much he suffered.
This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail. That Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own harbinger.
Oh, that kind of explains the trailer that we saw for the Wanderer. Because I was wondering, like, how the hell do Fatui boys don't recognize that this is one of their bosses? But now it makes sense.
People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. The chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Paimon, why don't you take her out for a walk to clear her head?
You got it! Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our spirits! We're here! What should we eat first?
Greater Lore Kadavada. Forbidden knowledge. Nahida.
What is it? Have you figured it all out?
Yes, that was it. Greater Lore Kadavata. She said that no one can erase themselves from existence. Not even her. Otherwise, why would she need to create her own reincarnation in Lesser Lord Kusanali to do the delation for her? There would be no point. Oh, that's right. So it means that an alternate version of the Balladeer would have to appear. Oh, that's why the Wanderer. It's simply impossible for the Balladeer to completely erase his own existence. In which case, the question is, what happened to him?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Oh, he doesn't have vision.
Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsettias and ran off.
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss.
Oh, he's... You know that I was actually thinking about what he would do if he, like, would go on his own. And I was thinking that he probably would work at a stall for some time to at least get some money to be able to travel. Wow, like, my own predictions are coming true.
I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
He looks so cute. That guy is the Balladeer.
He's who?
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
Oh, he still feels like an outsider.
We're all out of Sunsettias. And I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more.
Are you a drifter or something?
Drifter? Is this like a slang for some sort of like drug addict?
That's right, I am.
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now?
Let's follow him.
Okay, stay out of sight.
Oh, that's a chest. Okay, well, might as well open it.
You even want this?
Yeah, I want wet treasure. That sounds a little bit too sexual.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the Balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsettias? Isn't that a bit too cruel?
Shush.
Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back.
If I wasn't seeing this with my own eyes, I would never believe it.
Huh?
Uh-oh.
You two over there. Is there something I can help you with? You've been following me all the way from the city.
Ha, he noticed us.
I'd have to be blind not to notice.
Yeah, you're right. We were following you.
Have we met before?
Look how huge these Sunsettias are compared to him.
No, we haven't met. But you know me?
Yes.
I have no recollection.
It's complicated, but I do know you.
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
I can prove it. You're a puppet.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh? I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important.
There's somewhere I want to take you.
Okay, but please
Okay.
let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Yo, okay, never mind. Okay.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
All right.
Then let's return to the city.
Oh, I'm so not used to this nice person. Whose man's is this?
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go
No, I
wherever
don't have
you
to.
want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
That's a good advice. Like, I mean, it sounds stupid. Like, oh, go live your life. But like, really, I like this line. Your time is valuable. I always say this, but time is the most valuable currency in the world because it's unrefundable. So, Okay, I always say this. I said this like once, but like I really stand by my statements that time is the most valuable thing in the world. And we have so little of it. So we have to make the most out of it.
But I don't...
But I don't what? Oh, he doesn't know where to go. Oh. Yeah, you can go with me.
You're right.
I'll take you. Don't worry. I'll take you. I'll take every single copy. I'll take C6 of you.
Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
Nahida! Nahida!
What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything.
You say that you are trekking across Teyvat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja. Why do you refer to yourself as a wanderer?
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots.
Oh, he just wants to have a home. It's so sad.
But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called previous incarnation.
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation?
Let's say it like that. You wouldn't get along with that guy. It's a little awkward.
Oh, okay. I see.
He just accepted it. Oh, okay. I see. You don't have to say anything more.
You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation.
We're just trying to think where to start.
If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear. But I'll be able to handle it. Please, tell me the truth.
Oh.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
Oh, and him like realizing that must be so heartbreaking.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
Yeah, I agree with that a lot. I don't think that you can just divide actions into good and bad. I think everything depends, literally everything.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
I mean, I liked him. We were each other's enemies.
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth? Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
But, oh no, I feel like, isn't that going to break him? To see what he did?
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm just a puppet, with no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
I have tears in my eyes.
Very well. As you wish.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Okay.
Oh, good point.
Prepare yourselves, everyone.
It's Scatoception.
This looks like Inazuma.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth, but be aware that enemies may react just like in the real world. Please be careful.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
Oh, you deserve everything.
All right. Thanks.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your creation. You had a great many memories here.
Is that because this is kind of like his birthplace?
You could say that, in a sense. You'll see why shortly.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. There's someone passed out on the ground.
Who are you?
You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Are you injured?
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichio's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatara Suna.
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatara Suna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor disguised as a mechanic. The Balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command at Tatara Suna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa killed him to put an end to the Tatara Suna incident.
Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabukimono.
That's fine with me.
I hear voices.
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty, but there's nobody here.
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for us here. We can't stay.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died, and then my dad got sick. He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing too.
But you can't. You promised me.
Yup, we're family now. We're gonna be together forever and ever.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the Balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. Some of the neighbors helped to raise him. After leaving Tatara Suna, the Balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together.
What happened to the child then?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The Balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
I can't imagine how horrible it must have been.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too.
I'm crying, I'm sorry.
The voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
And I'm just supposed to continue crying and playing the game. Okay, that's fine with me. I'm not upset.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon, one that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
The long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Oh.
This place is dark.
In the original version of events, the Traveler once encountered the Balladeer here.
I remember this. It was an unsettling place.
Hey, look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan. Perhaps you find fighting in the abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the doctor.
See, even like the Fatui Harbingers were treating him so horribly.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
I can't imagine like Child being like the most hated Fatui out of all of them. They're like, oh my god, Child again.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else. Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes. Please don't worry about me.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results and your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Looks like we have arrived in Sumeru.
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial affair.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible. In the event that a successful connection is established, his body will become permanently bound to the machine, and he will be unable to move independently of it.
That's why he was like falling so aimlessly. I thought that when he was falling from the machine is because he gave up, but no, he actually couldn't physically move on his own.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
That sounds so sad.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of information. Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the Abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge I had gained.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
He's the doctor. He's behind all of this.
Let's move on.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and puppets?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
I like the way she phrased that. Because basically what makes us human is our emotions. And so if he was able to feel emotions, he was a human all along.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear.
Wow.
No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, let it come to pass.
Are you saying...
Can you return my memories to me?
Wait, I love that. I thought that maybe he wouldn't be able to bear his memories, but he actually wants them.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with a void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self.
I love that. Like, reclaiming his sins. Oh, it's very mature, you know? Is this the true meaning of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's words? A person can't erase themselves, and even though the original Balladeer has gone, this person will live on in his place.
I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul-searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon myself. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny, and end my wandering.
Oh,
very well.
He just wants to have a home. That's all I understand from his words. He's constantly like mentioning it. He wants to have a home.
Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours. You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free?
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright? No way!
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end. This is trying my patience.
Have you got all your memories back now?
Have you got any more stupid questions? Cry louder!
Oh, cry louder? I can't cry even louder. What if I... Oh. Aha, I can die. Okay, now it makes sense. Wait, this is awesome. He's like facing himself, his past like mistake, I suppose.
Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
It disappeared. Did we win?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that. Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am.
Now you've recovered your memories, the past will catch up with you.
You sound like you're concerned about me.
I am. I'm telling you this whole time that I am your friend. I am worried. Like, how many other confirmations you need?
But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
Aww.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Oh wow, that was so intense. I loved it.
Welcome back, traveler. Paimon, Balladeer.
He probably doesn't want to be referred as Balladeer now, though.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
Yeah.
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it.
You won't go by the Balladeer anymore?
After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who the 6th is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
Let's call it a tactical retreat.
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
So, he still like wanted to be forgotten by a lot of people, especially people that he hurt.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Yup.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that. Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish.
But they're not impossible.
What you are looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed. How ridiculous.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting.
Oh, that is the most epic line, and I want every single one of you, yes, you, I am talking to you, my viewer, please remember that. Even if you feel worthless, and you're not worthless, okay? Honey, you're not worthless. But if you feel that way, don't regret anything in your life. Live every day as best as you can. Even if you make mistakes, even if you slip up, it's okay. That's just like a little word of advice from your older sister, which is me, I guess.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul. didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
I agree.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it.
Nahida doesn't see you in that way.
Oh, right. I almost forgot. You're the good guys. You're into justice and all that.
Why does that sound so obnoxious? Oh yeah, you're the good guys and you like justice and stuff.
Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers. I can live with that.
Oh, so this is the duo I am in for. You cannot tell me that they're not like a chosen family. Like, I feel like Nahida is kind of like symbolically adopting him right now, and he is like, yes, I want that. I like that idea.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul.
Thank you. Let's hope you can find some answers.
I will try.
Traveler.
Yes?
After I dove into the information torrent in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma?
Because I wanted to know what he'd change.
So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how. Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back.
Oh, you don't have to pay me back. I didn't do all of this for a reward. Yeah, exactly. Please don't make it sound like extorting you. I'm not sure what that word means. I'll have to Google it later.
Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
No, don't really. It really doesn't work that way. But no worries. I'll teach you how human relations work. I'll teach you how relationships work. Wink, wink.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero.
Yeah.
I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books.
Yep, I'm so glad that Nahida is here to help him out with all of this.
Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed, which is why there is emotion in the human world.
That's a good way to think about it.
Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
Oh.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
No, you still can't become a real boy, Pinocchio. Don't worry, that's not the name I'm gonna name him.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings.
Yes, exactly. That's what I also think.
The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
That's also a good way to think about it.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
I love it. I really hope that maybe someday we're gonna get like, I don't know, an event or a different interlude chapter with these two together, like working as a family. Oh god, it warms my heart so much. I hope you can give Nahida a chance. He needs some time to think. Give him a second.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
No. This is so cute. I can't. Oh my god, yes. Yes. This chapter is like everything I could ask for, honestly.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you, too!
Don't do that, Paimon. This one
Why?
time. Why? Just admit it, you give ugly nicknames to our besties. And he's one of our besties now.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
Okay. That was savage.
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
Huh? You want us to decide? I think, personally, that it should be Nahida to name him. Because she's first of all giving him like a second chance in life. She's giving him some sort of family bond-ish, like a guardian maybe bond that he has been missing his whole life. She's giving him a home. She's basically giving him everything that he wanted to have from the very beginning. So I feel like she should be the one to name him. But I get it.
Have you got anything?
Okay, considering that he doesn't want to be the wonder, let's start with the most obvious one, which is Skara. You see, I'm still gonna refer to him as Skara, but actually, it's not like just because he was Scaramouche and I used to always call him that, but also because I kind of want to refer to his past as a scar. I think that our past is like scars. It's something that's gonna stick with us our whole lives, but what we have to do is learn to live with it. I mean, I don't want to name him Scar because I don't want him to be, named after a Lion King character, but I feel like Skara would fit him. But a different name that I want to give him like right now is Kokoro, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that Kokoro in Japanese means a heart. Something he wanted to have from the very beginning. I think that naming him a heart would not only be giving him what he has always wanted, but also him hopefully realizing in the future that he's always had a heart. His emotions were his heart. People he loved, he cared about. This was his heart. His pain was his heart. Anger, frustration, every single one of these things. They made him human. Even if he was born in quotations, as a puppet, he still was a human with a heart. And now he can live with that heart, start a new life, and find himself and his own heart. So, Kokoro, confirm.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think this will do.
Oh, alright. If you say so.
You like it? I don't know, he didn't say it.
Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Look, he wants it. He actually wants the nickname because he knows we only name our besties with nicknames.
Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one.
What do you plan to do next?
Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
Oh.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think that it's worth to go after the whole Fatui, but the doctor was purely malicious to him, and considering that he's just a freaking psychopath, I'm on board in getting the revenge on him. Or at least maybe not getting a revenge, but rather just stopping him.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
I also like that she's telling, don't rush this, take care of yourself first and then do that.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, Please tell them that I was the one responsible for the Raiden Gokuden's downfall.
Oh. But like, you want them to be after you, or you just want to take responsibility for that?
Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
Ah, okay.
I see.
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have been.
No. I'm not saying fine to that. No, I am not saying that. I refuse.
What's that look for? Don't make that face. I know what I'm doing.
I mean, I know what you're doing, but like, that doesn't mean I like it.
That day will come. All right. We're done here.
Oh.
Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
Wise deity, and yeah, you too.
I'll need some time to calm down.
Is that the end?
Whew, it's about time we had a break. Look at that vase.
What about it?
Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something?
That night we stayed here, Paimon bumped into the table after being startled by something to do with the Balladeer and broke the vase. But the Balladeer erased his existence. He changed the world. So why is this vase still broken?
You sound lost and confused.
Who is that?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance, but for anyone else, who can say? Like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not? History does not change easily, but human hearts can.
The voice has disappeared.
Believe my eyes. Does she mean I should trust my memories? I wonder what else awaits me in the future. Then we finished. I knew I'm gonna cry at this, and I did. I guess the only thing I can add is that I just feel sad that we're not gonna see him anymore in any story quests, because that's what they do. They introduce cool characters and then they never show them again. Merry Christmas for those of you who celebrate. And even if you don't celebrate, and still have a great day. Bye bye.